Shalom. I want to start off by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Wachach, Kodash. Double honors to my teachers, the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and salutations to you, Akim, that's out there listening, pushing for this word with truth and sincerity, and your few Akwat as well, that's listening with sincerity. All right, today, just coming back at you guys through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. And hey, we're coming to a time of no escape, man. Okay, the Lord is about to besiege these people. What? With judgment. Okay, with plagues. All right, and the reason being why I'm saying this is because what? Of prophecy. That's what the prophecy states. That's what doth say the scripture. Okay, which we're going to start it off with Ezekiel 7 and verse 17. And it reads, the sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. Right? So basically it's telling you here what the sword is without, meaning outside of the cities, it's going to be survival of the fittest. Even in the city, it's still going to be survival of the fittest. But basically, it's in a sense, it's like when you're outside the city, you're fending for yourself, right? And these different post-apocalyptic movies, they show you how that the city is always in chaos. The city is always that main source of where everything just fell in. Everything just fell through. And now let's say if there's some survivors, they have to go outside of the city and then basically, you may say, be pilgrims. And then it's like every man for themselves. If you come across another person, it's like you're a bit you're on your P's and Q's, right? You have your guard up, because let's say if you don't have your guard up, they're gonna be looking to loot whatever that you have on you. They're gonna be looking to kill you, right? They're gonna be looking to basically do you harm and take your supplies. If not that, hey, they're gonna be looking to take you, most likely eat you. Because we are entering into a time of famine. Right? So, and it also says what? And the pestilence and the famine within, meaning in the cities. Okay? And Babylon the Great is going to be that main place which is going to catch those judgments very heavily. Okay? And Babylon referring to America. All right? So, within is going to be famine and pestilence, because we know with famine, right, it brings mass death. Okay, when there's no food to eat, people are going to start dying. And with people dying, what? That's going to bring forth disease, because nobody's going to be burying those bodies, as it says in the prophecy. Okay, how that, bodies going to be stacking upon bodies on the streets. You know what? Let's get that prophecy. Okay. So this is the book of we'll get this one. Right? This is the book of 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 22. It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. Right? Like I said earlier, a famine is coming. Okay? A famine is coming. All right? And it's inevitable. Okay? Now, not only Ezra saw this vision, hey, Isaiah saw it, Jeremiah saw it, Ezekiel saw it. Okay? The prophets of old, they saw the vision of these last days of how there's going to be a major famine. All right? It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine. It says many of them, right? Many people are going to die of famine. Okay? And the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. You see? Hey, did I not tell you? Hey, Ezekiel was basically seeing the same vision, right? With the sword being without, the sword is without, and the pestilence and the famine within. That's what basically Ezra just said. Let's read it again. 2nd Ezra 16 and verse 22, it says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. You see? So if you're in the city, and then here it is, there's a famine, right? Right? You might be in the famine and you try to escape the famine by going out the city and try to go and loot in the suburbs or within the countryside. Hey, you might die of the sword on the road, trying to fend for yourself to see if you can find a cabin, filled with food, or you're looking to find whatever food. Okay, and then here it is, you come across another man that's looking for the same thing, right? And then let's say he's in a more pitiful case than you. You might have somewhat of supplies, right, for your journey, and then he sees you have supplies, and then the only thing that he has is a weapon, right? What do you think he's gonna do? He's gonna hide in the bushes, and then what? Ambush you, and then try to take your supplies, your clothes, right? Your food, whatever that you have on, which that movie, The Road, kind of showed you that. Okay? So, hey, that's what's coming very soon, man. Okay? A point of no escape, man. No matter what you do, you're not gonna be able to escape the judgments of the Lord. Okay? The only ones that are gonna be able to escape, in a sense, is gonna be the elect. All right? Which we hope we're part of. Okay, verse 23, this is the point here. It says, and the dead shall be cast out as dung, and there shall be no man to comfort them, and the earth shall be wasted, and the cities shall be cast down. You see, the dead are going to be cast out as dung, man. And it says no man is going to be there to comfort them. In other words, no man is going to bury these dead bodies, man. You're going to barely have strength, okay, to even walk. You think you're going to waste your energy to bury bodies, man? Matter of fact, hey, some people are going to eat those bodies. Okay? But not only that, I brought this precept out because those dead bodies are going to be the cause for the pestilences as well. Okay? Because there's a reason why a body is supposed to be buried. Because if it's not buried, it's going to bring forth toxins. That's not good for the environment. And then what? It brings forth diseases. Okay? That's why in Ezekiel, like we read, which we're going to read again, Ezekiel 7:15, it says the sword is without and the pestilence and the famine within. Right? You see the pestilence and the famine are together. Because once again, those bodies that have not been buried are going to be producing diseases, pestilences, because as the body decays, it spreads forth toxins that's not good for a living person to breathe in. Okay, so reading on, it says, he that is in the field shall die with the sword, and he that is in the city, famine and pestilence shall devour him. In other words, you won't be able to escape, man. No escape. You're in the city, you're dying of famine and pestilence. You try to escape the city, sword is going to get you. Okay? Hey, let's not forget, too, that a draft is coming very soon. Okay? Because we know World War III is fastly approaching. Okay? We're hearing about the rumors of wars. How that these different world leaders are saying, oh, World War III is imminent, right? Prepare yourself for World War III, which even recently, if I'm not mistaken, is the WEF, right? That official came out and said you gotta at least have a flashlight, have some type of food, some type of something you preserve, because World War III is coming, right? So we are entering the times of war, and that too could be of that too could be you dying of the sword if you're not in the city, right? Let's say, you get drafted, you're going to die out there, man. Okay? If you get drafted, you're going to die out there. And let's say you get that letter of a draft, and then you say you don't want to go, and you say you want to stay in the city, and then whatever, you maneuver, and in some way, somehow, you end up not going to the war. If you stay in the city, famine is going to get you. And if you go to the war, you're going to die in the war. You see? That's another no escape. Right? Let's go back to 2nd Ezra. Let's go back to 2nd Ezra 16, because 2nd Ezra 16 even says that, how that, these men are going to die in the wars. Okay, so back to 2nd Ezra 16, we're going to jump to verse 33. And it reads, it says, the virgins shall mourn, having no bridegrooms, and the women shall mourn, having no husbands. Their daughters shall mourn, having no helpers. And the wars shall their bridegrooms be destroyed, and their husbands shall perish of famine. You see? So if you get drafted, you go to war and try to fight, fight for your country, right? You're going to die in that war, man. Okay, and let's say you end up staying, you're going to perish of famine in the city. No escape. No escape, man. No, these people are not going to be able to escape. Right? There's a reason why it says the day of the Lord is like a... Let's get that one too. There's a reason it says why the day of the Lord is like, if you lean your hand on the wall, a serpent's going to bite you. Right? Let's get that Amos. Let's get that Amos real quick. Okay, this is Amos 5 and verse 18. It says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. To what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. Yeah, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, especially these so-called Christians, because they're the ones that promote also the day of the Lord, but in the wrong context. The way that they present the day of the Lord is as if there's going to be a so-called pale-looking man coming out the sky, arms open, getting ready to give you hugs and kisses, with butt-naked babies flying around with wings on their back, with a harp or whatnot. Okay, that's what they envision the day of the Lord as. But when you come to the truth, you come to know that the day of the Lord is not light, man. The day of the Lord is very gruesome. The day of the Lord is death. All right, famines, pestilences, wars. Okay, it's just straight up death, man. So woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord, man. There's a reason why the prophets, when they saw these visions, they were scared. Okay? There's a reason why Habakkuk said, woe is me. Habakkuk said, I heard thy speech and was afraid. Right? In wrath, remember mercy. There's a reason why Ezra said, woe is me, who's going to deliver me in those days? Because the only thing that he saw was death, man. Okay? Death. People dying left and right. Not able to escape those judgments. Hey, we're coming to a time of no escape. No escape for these people. No fucking escape, man. Through. There's even a precept where it says some of them is going to be desiring to die, but they're not going to be able to find death, man. Ooh, man. Right? Let's say you want to off yourself. You're like, this is too much. You want to commit suicide, but the Lord is going to make it that you don't die. You just suffer seeing people dying left and right, seeing your loved ones die right in front of you. And it just plays with your psyche. Yeah. There's a reason why the Lord, one of his titles is Al-Shadia. Okay? Which is what? That was in the Hebrew, Al-Shadia, meaning what? Demon-like power. Okay? Hey, the Lord is not to play with, man. The Lord knows how to mess with people, man. All right, so verse 19, it says, this is the point. It says, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. You see, in other words, no escape. You just fled from a lion. Just now, you fled from a lion. And then, boom, you come to meet a big-ass grizzly bear. And then you try to escape the grizzly bear. You enter a cabin, right? And then you try to lean your hand on the wall to catch your breath. Here there's a venomous serpent just came up the wall, started wrapping himself around your arm. You see? You're not going to escape, man. You're not going to escape. Lest you be of the elect. If you're not of the elect, if you're not protected by the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushua in those times, if you don't have that thawah, which is in the book of Ezekiel 4, that mark, which in the Hebrew is thawah, meaning a mark of exemption. If you don't have that, forget it. You're through. Okay? Verse 20, it says, shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it. Okay? Straight up chaos, straight up death. You see? No escape, man. All right? Which I want to get this too in the book of 2 Kings. Let's get in the blue letter. 2 Kings of this account with those 4 lepers. Okay, just to back up the point of no escape, because in that time there was a famine in Samaria, in the northern kingdom, right, in the kingdom of Israel, because we know during that time our kingdom was separated into two. Being the southern kingdom and the northern kingdom after Solomon sinned, right? So I'm going to get this particular account where it kind of goes into the famine being within the city and the sword being without, right? Just to, bring that out to further back up the point, right? So let's get this in 2 Kings 7. We're going to start at verse 3. It says, and there was 4 leprous men at the entering in of the gate, and they said one to another, why sit we here till we die? Yeah, like I stated earlier, there was a famine during that time. Okay, it was the Syrians that came and besieged the city of Samaria. Okay, and that time, the king that was ruling over the nation of Israel, being the northern kingdom, was let me get it real quick. What's his name again? I know in the Hebrew his name is Yahweh Rum, meaning Yahweh exalted, right? Jehoram, if I'm not mistaken in the English, but in the Hebrew is Yahweh Rum. Okay, he was the one that was ruling in that time, and the king of Syria came and besieged the city. And then there was a famine in the land where, if you read the 6th chapter, where Asa's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver, which is 80 pieces of silver, and a cup of dove's shit was sold for 5 pieces of silver. Okay, showing you how severe that famine was. Okay, nonetheless, the prophet Elisha, right, basically prophesied and said the famine is going to stop on the morrow. Okay, and then here it is. We're going to read why basically the famine stopped on the morrow, because these 4 leprous men, let's read it. Okay, this is 2 Kings 7 and verse 3 again. It says, and there were 4 leprous men at the entering in of the gate, and they said one to another, why sit we here until we die? If we say we will enter into the city, then the famine is in the city. Right? So, they were at the entering of the gate. Okay? And then, like I stated earlier, at that time, Samaria was being besieged, so there was a famine within the city. So they were like, if we stay outside the city, we're going to die. And if we go inside, we're going to die too. So what are we going to do? Right? Reading on, it says, then the famine is in the city, and we shall die there. And if we sit here, we die also. Right? In other words, they're like, hey, if we go in the city, we stay here, we're still fucked. We're still gonna die. So what are we gonna do? Right? Now, therefore, come and let us fall into the host of the Syrians. If they save us alive, we shall live. And if they kill us, we shall but die. Okay? Kind of shows you what there was no point of no escape at that time. Right? They try to go into the city, famine is gonna get them. They stay outside, they're still gonna die. So the only conclusion that they came to is like, yo, let's just give ourselves to the Syrians. If they save us, they save us. If they kill us, they kill us. Regardless, if we don't do anything, we're still gonna die. So really, they kind of had like more of a 50-50 chance of the Syrians, either killing them or saving them. And if the Syrians, let's say the Syrians killed them, that will be what? The sword killing them without. You see? That's why I brought out this particular account, right? Because that's what's gonna come in the times to come. Right? We brought the precept in the 2nd Ezra 16, how that, let's say if you're not in the city at that time, let's say you get drafted to go to war, you're gonna die in that war. And let's say you stay in the city, the famine is gonna get you, the pestilence is gonna get you. In other words, no escape. Okay? But as you go on to read this particular chapter, they're gonna come. The Lord made it that the Syrians heard, chariots and horses, as if it was a troop that was coming to overtake them. They thought that the king of Israel hired, Egyptians and Hittites against them. So they fled and basically left everything, their horses, their asses, their food, their raiment, everything. They left it in the camp and they just fled. And then those 4 leprous men, they were making that counsel amongst themselves to say, let's go to the Syrians and give ourselves. Either we die, or either they kill us, or they save us alive. But the Lord made it that, once again, those Syrians fled, and then they left everything behind, and then, boom, right then and there, the next day, the famine stopped in Samaria, okay, according to the word of Elisha, okay, because it was Elisha that prophesied that was going to happen. All right. But the point was made about basically the famine being within and the sword without, which that's what's going to happen in the times to come. Okay. Especially in America, especially in Babylon the Great, and also these different countries too. They're going to partake in the Lord's fury. Okay. Not like America, because America is that hub, is that source of wickedness. Right. America is that source. So anybody that's in America at that time, man, right? Anybody that's in America in those days, the sword, the famine, the pestilence is gonna get you. Okay, you're gonna get those 4 kinds, unless you be of the elect. Once again, right? Let's close off with Jeremiah 15, because I said you're gonna get of those 4 kinds. So this is Jeremiah 15 and verse 2. It says, and it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? Then shalt thou tell them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai. Right? So if they ask us in the times to come, what are we going to do? Right? You guys are the guys that's been telling us of these things. What are we to do? Right? This is what we're going to tell them at that time. Because now it's going to be too late. Okay, now it's going to be, the doors of mercy are closed. Okay? Thus saith the Lord, such as are for death to death, such as are for the sword to the sword, and such as are for the famine to the famine, and such as are for the captivity to the captivity. And I will appoint over them 4 kinds, saith the Lord, the sword to slay, the dogs to tear, and the fowls of heaven and the beasts of the earth to devour and to destroy. Okay? And these 4 kinds are also part of that being utilized for these people to have no escape. It's not only famine, sword, and pestilence. There's also dogs to tear, the fowls of heaven, and the beasts of the earth to devour and to destroy, man. Let's not forget about that. Okay, these animals are gonna have a field day with these people too. You see, let's say if you escape the famine, you escape the sword. The Lord has beasts. Okay, there's even beasts newly created too. Let's not forget about that. So these people, you're not gonna escape, man. That's point blank period. These people are not gonna escape the judgments, man. Right? I know I said I was going to close off with this, but I must get this too, because this precept here in 1 Thessalonians 5 tells you how that you're not going to escape. Okay? It literally says they shall not escape. This is 1 Thessalonians 5 and verse 3. It says, for when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, And we are indeed in that peace and safety spirit currently. Okay? These people are, they're in the so-called, right now, these people, they're calm right now. Okay, right now, everything is back to normalcy in a sense, quote, quote, which really is not really back to normal because prophecies are popping off like popcorn right now, man. 2024 started with a big bang, man. A lot happened in the month of January, okay? And here it is, we're about to enter February. You see? And there's only just more and more stuff to be revealed, man. Okay? So, yeah, right now they're currently in that peace and safety spirit. Little do they know that what? Sudden destruction is going to come. Okay? Then sudden destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. No escape, man. Famine within, sword without. Beasts to devour and to destroy. And let's say you escape all these type of judgments. Hey, you won't be able to escape the nuclear missiles, especially if you are in Babylon the Great, aka America. You're not gonna escape the missiles, man. Okay? So yeah, man, these people, they're through. If you're not in the sanctuary, if you're not covered by the spirit of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, you are through. Okay? Hey, so with that, man, I'm going to close it off there by giving all the praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai Ba'ashim Wachach Chodesh. Hey, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Until next time, I'm going to say Shalom.